And welcome back to Square Off. A poll taken before the Arpaio pardon shows Arizona voters overwhelmingly opposed it, 57% to 37%. But when you break out Republican voters, 63%, almost 2 in every 3, supported the pardon. Are those Republican poll numbers the reason so many Republicans in Arizona are sticking with Trump and the now out of office Joe Arpaio? Here's what Governor Doug Ducey said about the pardon. Quote, Sheriff Joe deserves credit for helping to reduce crime in Maricopa County over his long career in law enforcement. He's brought finality to this pardon has brought finality to this chapter in Arizona's history. Sheriff Joe is my friend. And now he, Ava, and their family can move on and enjoy their retirement together. Sheriff Joe is my friend. Will Doug Ducey come to regret that, John?
It will be featured in many ads in the upcoming election. I think he has tried to keep a respectful distance from Trump. That's a disappointing statement to me personally, but I think he will come to regret it. But I think Arpaio had represented a very large constituency in the Republican Party in Arizona, but every year it fades. And what you saw is Trump won Maricopa County by 3 points. Arpaio lost by 10 points. So the Republican Party, even supporting Trump, is turning away from Arpaio. That's an old...
Can they still turn away from Arpaio but stick with Ducey? I mean, you saw those poll numbers. That must be on his mind. I
think people are picking and choosing a lot in politics right now, especially with Trump. A lot of people who couldn't stand Trump in the primaries ended up voting for him. So I think people are compartmentalizing a lot of these different politicians.
And I should note, back in 2014, during the Republican primary, Joe Arpaio was, in effect, Doug Ducey's closer in that primary. He ran Arpaio nonstop on TV in the days leading up to the vote. Danny, what about on the Latino side? It wouldn't seem there's a need for more fuel to get Latino voters out. What does this do? How does this change things?
Governor Ducey's statement was extremely disappointing. He had the opportunity to say, look, this doesn't represent the core values of America or the state of Arizona. It's clear in the 57% that it doesn't represent them. But for the governor to say he reduced crime, and guess what? It's okay for him to profile Latinos. It's okay for him to discriminate. I think that's where he really falls on the side of just being politically correct. Remember, he's talking to Joe Arpaio's base. He's talking to that base that's going to help him win the primary. And then he takes the numbers of Republicans to Democrats and he figures it's okay, Joe Arpaio's my friend.
Statewide races, though, does this get more Latinos out in the off year, which is traditionally a lower turnout year?
I've always said that Joe Arpaio was probably one of the best organizers we ever had in the Latino community. Us wanting to get him out of office registered more voters, took more voters out on election day, and so Governor Ducey, Donald Trump, and all of those who are siding with Joe Arpaio and Donald Trump, look, bring it on. We're ready to register more voters. We're ready to get out there because we're just sick and tired of this.
How concerned should Republican office holders be right now?
They should be very concerned. And like I said, it's kind of Arpaio's turned into this voice of the past, especially, and the voters put a final nail on that statement right there. But what Republicans have to realize is if you do something like Trump, he constantly does these things to stoke up his most hardcore base. And this will show him, and this will get him shouting for me. Well, that does the same on the other side as well. And you saw a really impressive Latino turnout in November. I think it'll be even higher in the off year.
Last question. Joe Arpaio plans to hold a news conference early this week, his first in a long, long time. Sounds like he's planning for a resurrection. He says he might get back into politics. What does the future hold for Joe Arpaio?
First of all, Joe Arpaio needs to keep a high profile in order to continue to raise more money. He's raising money nationally for him. Okay, so look, go ahead, raise more money for yourself.
And his legal defense.
And his legal defense.
His legal bills.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's going to have a little Fox satellite studio put in his rec room or something like that. You're going to be seeing a whole lot of him, primetime Fox coming up.
Oh, boy. John Gabriel, Danny Ortega, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
When we come back after clashes Tuesday night outside the Trump rally, insights from a law enforcement expert on how police are trained to deal with protesters. Stay with us.